Hello everyone. Just confirm me that everything is perfect from my side as well as from yours. Whether am I audible and the PPT is visible? Okay, fine. Let's wait for another 1 minute. Let others also join. Let's start today's session, right? Okay, we'll start, right? See, from today, that is May 10th up to July 30th. May 10 to July 30th, we are going to solve many questions. Okay, that is MCQ series will be happen for 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. Okay, including Saturday, Sundays, right? And in these MCQ series, we are going to solve many questions from all the units which has been given in your syllabus, right? And in each topic which is given in the syllabus will be covered in this MCQ series. And in today's class, in today's session, we are going to solve 25 questions from non-chordata and chordata, right? And everybody is requested to listen to the class with a notebook and a pen. It is mandatory, right? And what are all the things? You should not stop only after the after saying the questions. Okay, it is not sufficient. Instead, you have to do what are all the background information we have to read. Okay, and what are all the things I'm going to say, everything you have to take down and you have to revise, right? If you follow all these things, everything will be on track and you will be getting a maximum number of questions in your exam, right? And shall we start start a class? Okay, and your first question is from the species. A new species is formed when the new species will be formed. This is what our question. Please be on time, right? 8:30 will be our class time, okay, up to 9:30. So it is very necessary to be on time, right? Attend the class on correct time. Okay, the first question will be with respect to the species. Okay, when the new species will be formed. Option number 1. Because of new genic population, organism with new traits are born. Second option, exchange of parts between the homologous chromosome takes place. Changes in the genotype in population leads to sexual isolation. The exchange of parts of chromosomes during gametogenesis leads to the formation of new genotype. Okay, they have given a 4 different conditions. In these 4 conditions, when will be the species will be formed? This is what a question. What will be the answer? Quick, what will be the answer for this question? Whether you know or not, just try. Give any options. Okay. Don't sit idle. Very good. See, when will be the new species will be formed? Changes in the genotype in a population leads to sexual isolation. Before that, you should know what is species. Okay, we know the taxonomical hierarchy, right? Hierarchical taxonomical classification. We know that it has been started from the domain up to the species. Okay, we know that species will be the basic unit of classification, and we know that what will be the definition for species. You should know that it will be the interbreeding animals or the members of the same species. Okay, and when the new species will be formed, this new species will be formed when the changes in the genotype, a particular population, they belong to the same species, and whenever the changes will be happening in the genotype, it leads to the sexual isolation, and only then the new species will be formed, right? And what will be the second option will be what they are suggesting is, what will be the definition for this? See, exchange of parts between homologous chromosomes takes place. What is the name? What is meant by exchange of parts between homologous chromosome? This is related to the genetics, and we are very familiar with that word. Exactly, crossing over, right? Right. See, species, when the new species will be formed only whenever the changes will be happening in the genetic level, right? In this population in the same species, and we know that it will be the basic unit of classification, and all the species will have a same evolutionary basis. See, solving question, it is not sufficient. You have to read the explanations I have been attached in the next slide, right? And the second question, this is related to the hierarchy of taxonomical classification. Identify the correct sequence of taxa in Linnaeus hierarchy. What will be the answer for this question? We know that phylum, division, genus, species, class, family, and what is necessary means familiar to these words, it is not sufficient, but you should know the correct order. The chronological order is very, very important. So just pick out the correct answer, correct sequence of the hierarchy. Don't take much time for this question. Okay, what about others? Very good. See, it is starting from the domain. What is in the domain? What we are having? What is domain? Can anyone remember what is domain? I have explained you when I took the general concepts. What is domain? We have two domains, right? And what are all the domains? Prokaryotes and eukaryotes. This is the two different domains, and in that domain we have many kingdom, 5 different types of classification, and today we are following the 5 kingdom classification which has been given by the R.H. Whitaker classification in 1969. Okay, particularly we are focusing on the animal kingdom, right? In the animal kingdom we have a different phylums starting from the porifera up to the chordata, right? We have different phylums, and in the phylum we have a subphylum and we have a superclass. After the superclass we have a class, subclass, order. See, you should know that when the superclass will be arranged in the hierarchy and when the subclass is arranged, right? And super order, order, suborder, superfamily, family, subfamily, genus, subspecies, subgenus, species, and after that subspecies. This is what a taxonomical hierarchy, right? And after that, third question, according to the system of binomial nomenclature, every organism has two names, one for the place to which belongs and other for the discoverer. Okay, see, binomial nomenclature means the word has two different words, and first option is saying that first one word is denoting the place and the other word is referring to the discoverer. This is what an option one. And the second option will be one name established by two scientists, and the third one is one scientific name of which first part is genus and others is species. Two names, one scientific and one common. And we are well aware of that. Binomial nomenclature will have a two different words, and first word will be the genetic epithet, and the second word will be the species epithet, right? And always we should, whenever we are writing the scientific name or the biological name, we should start with a capital letter, only the genus. See, for example, Homo sapiens. This is what a scientific name for the man. Okay, this is what a genus. This is what a species, right? And Homo is a genus. Homo sapiens will be the species. You should not confuse with the word species. See, sapiens is species. We know that, but in the question, whenever they asked which of the following names suggesting the species means, you should not pick up the answer sapiens. Instead, that Homo sapiens will be the complete species name. Okay, Homo will be the genus name, Homo sapiens will be the species name. And the first word will always be in a capital letter, and the second word, sapiens, will be starting with the small letter. And you should always write the binomial nomenclature only in the italic format. Or if you not written in the italic format, you should underline the word separately. This is what the procedure of binomial nomenclature. And who proposed the binomial nomenclature? Anybody know that who proposed this method of binomial nomenclature? Yes, of course, Carolus Linnaeus. Now, cell tissue grade of organization occurs in platyhelminthes, sponges, protozoa, and coelenterata. We have four different types of grade of organization, right? Cellular level of organization, tissue level of organization, organ level of organization, organ system level of organization. And you should know that cellular level of organization belongs to which phylums are coming under the cellular level, and which phylum coming under the tissue order and organ system level. These are all the things you have to make a note of it, right? You have to read all the background information regarding this. See, this table is sufficient to answer this question. See, here they have been asking cell tissue grade of organization, and that will be the coelenterata, right? And see, the kingdom Animalia, we know that it is multicellular, and the grade level of organization we can be classified under the kingdom Animalia. One is cellular and another one is tissue or organ system level. Okay, in the cellular level, it has a no symmetry and it has a no body cavity. We can call them technically as an acoelomate, and the phylum will be the Porifera. Right? In the tissue, organ and organ system level will be further classified into radial and bilateral symmetry. We know what is radial and what is bilateral. Radial symmetry means we can cut the particular organism at any plane. Okay, and after that we have been coming up with the two morphologically similar equal halves. That is what radial symmetry. In case of bilateral symmetry, we are going to cut the particular organism only at the particular plane. Only then we can come up with the two morphologically similar halves. Right? This is what a difference between radial and bilateral. Radial symmetry, those organisms which has a radial symmetry, they are also having no body cavity, and that will be the coelenterata and Ctenophora. Right, in the bilateral symmetry, we have three different types of classification. One is acoelomate, no body cavity, pseudocoelomate. The only phylum which is placed under the pseudocoelomate will be the Aschelminthes. Aschelminthes, it is also called as the Nemathelminthes. And the third one will be the coelomate. And we have coelomate means what? True body cavity. And we have two different types of coelomate. One is enterocoelomate and another one is schizocoelomate. The word schizocoelomate means the body cavity will be arising from the mesoderm. Right? In the enterocoelomate means the body cavity will be arising from the digestive tract. Okay, and that is what schizocoelomate and enterocoelomate. And you should know that what are all the phylums which is placed under the schizocoelomate and what are all the phylums which is placed under the enterocoelomate. So these are all the phylums which is placed under the coelomate organism, right? And this table is very, very essential, right? And the first question, the infective stage of Entamoeba histolytica is uninucleate cyst, binucleate cyst, tetranucleate cyst and minute form. Very good. Tetranucleate cyst. See, Entamoeba histolytica. We know that it has been placed under which phylum? Protozoa, right? See, when it comes to the Entamoeba histolytica, what are all the things you have to remember? See, the first and foremost thing you have to read the taxonomical classification. That is which phylum, which class, which order, which genus, and which species and all. Okay, this is the hierarchy, taxonomical hierarchy, systematic position. We can say like that. It is mandatory to read that, and also the extra information. We know that there are three different stages have been seen in the Entamoeba histolytica. The first stage will be the tropozoid or magna form, pre-cystic or minute form, and cystic form. Okay, the tropozoid and magna form will be the most active form and the infective form, and the second stage will be the pre-cystic or minute form, and the third will be the cystic form. See, generally there is in Entamoeba histolytica, in foot vacuole, what will be present here? RBC will be present here. And the disease which is caused by the Entamoeba histolytica will be the amoebic dysentery. Generally, this parasite or this protozoan will be placed under will be found in the intestine, or we can say the rectum of the man. Rectum will be the part of the larger intestine, and it has no contractile vacuole. And let me ask you a question. What will be the function of this contractile vacuole and why it is not present in the Entamoeba histolytica? What is the function of contractile vacuole? Anybody remember? Very good. What is the function of contractile vacuole? What is the word? I need that exact word. Its function. Yes. Osmoregulation. Very good. See, the function of this contractile vacuole will be the osmoregulation, which means what? It is going to perform osmosis. Okay. Whenever it is a water balancing organ, right? Whenever the protozoan finds extra amount of water or excess of water which is present in its body, it needs to push them out. Okay, for that, this contractile vacuole is needed. And whenever the organism finds there is a need of water to that body, it gets the water from the surrounding. That too, it has been performed only by this contractile vacuole. But see, this contractile vacuole is absent in Entamoeba histolytica, which means what? The concentration inside the body and outside the body will be same. That is isotonic concentration, right? That is why it has a no contractile vacuole, right? Because there is no need to perform the osmoregulation. Okay, see here, no foot vacuole is present. See here, foot vacuole is present. In case presence of foot vacuole, we can find the RBC, but see here the no foot vacuole I've been given here. What is the difference? See, I have given a tropozoid or the magna form, pre-cystic or minute form, right? There are three different stages, and I have said that the most active form and the infective form will be the tropozoid form. In this form, they are going to feed. Okay. For that, it has to digest. Where they are going to digest? Only in the food vacuole. In the pre-cystic or minute form, they are not an active form because they are not going to feed anything. There is no need of digestion here, so no need of food vacuole. This is what a difference, right? So the next question will be the sexual phase in the life cycle of Plasmodium occurs in. Kindly please be on time to the class. Okay, from today up to the July 38th, we are having a regular class at 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. Please don't skip any questions, right? It will be an useful session when you attend fully. Very good. Sexual phases of life cycle of Plasmodium occurs in gut of mosquito. Okay, let me ask you a simple question. What will be the causative agent or the pathogen for causing malaria? We know that malaria will be the disease, and what will be the pathogen and causative agent which is responsible for this disease. Exactly. Don't confuse it with malaria. Okay. Don't confuse it with mosquito. Okay. You should not think that mosquito is the one causing the disease. Okay. Plasmodium parasite, this is the protozoan parasite, is responsible for the causing malaria. Okay. And what will be the primary host for this malaria? Primary host for plasmodium. Just tell me whether it is digenetic or monogenetic. Is it man? Digenetic. Okay. And if it is a digenetic means what? It needs a two hosts to complete their life cycle. And we know that man and mosquito will be the host for this plasmodium. We know that. And I'm asking, what will be the primary host? Primary host will be the primitive host, or we can say the definitive host, right? What does mean by primary host and what is the intermediary host? Very good, mosquito, because the sexual phase is happening only in the mosquito. Okay, whenever the sexual maturity and sexual reproduction is happening, only that host will be considering as the primary host, right? And see, this table is sufficient to understand the question, right? See, we have two different hosts for this plasmodium. One is mosquito and another one is human, right? In human, and you should know that this is a primary protozoan diseases which is caused by the plasmodium. How many species we have under the genus plasmodium? How many species is responsible for this disease malaria? Very good, 4. And which species is considered as fatal? Which species is considered as fatal? When you attend my class properly, you can easily come up with all the good questions. Yes, exactly. Falciparum. Why it is fatal? Falciparum, always spelling is also essential, right? Falciparum. Very good, because it is going to affect the brain. And which species is causing the blackwater fever? See, we have 4 different species: Plasmodium vivax, Plasmodium ovale, Plasmodium malaria, and Plasmodium falciparum. Of these 4 species, which is going to cause the blackwater fever? Exactly the same species, Plasmodium falciparum, right? And this is what a causative agent, that is a plasmodium. In this genus, we have 4 different species, and we have 2 different hosts, so that we can call this plasmodium as a digenetic in nature. The primary host will be the mosquito, secondary host will be the man. Why? Because in mosquito, they are undergoing a sexual reproduction. In man, they are undergoing an asexual reproduction. And what will be we have a different types of asexual reproduction, and one of the type which is followed by this plasmodium will be the physogony. Physogony is nothing but it will be the type of multiple fission, right? See, also you should know that the target area followed by this parasite in mosquito as well as in human. In mosquito, the target area will be the gut. There is nothing but an intestine and the salivary glands. In man, the target area will be the blood and the liver, right? And see, always remember, you should focus here. What is the stage which is entering from the liver of human to the blood of the human? Merocyte is the condition. And after that, in the human, when the mosquito will bite, okay, when the normal healthy mosquito bite an infected human, what is the name of the stage which is taken by the mosquito and it is gaining the infection? That is a gametophytes of this plasmodium. And this gametophyte is the one enter into the body of mosquito, and it is undergoing a sexual reproduction, and it is happening in the gut. See, and sporocyte will be the stage it is entering into the salivary glands. So you should know that what will be the infective stage of the malaria will be the Sporocyte. Infective agent will be the sporocyte. We can say the sporozoans. Okay. These are all the things you should make a note of it. The strong circular sphincter around the osculum of the sponge is formed by. You should study the background information as canal system in porifera. Okay. What the strong circular sphincter around the osculum of the sponge is formed by porocytes, tropocytes, spongin fibers, and myocytes. Every questions will be present in the PPT. You can easily eliminate the options. Very good. See, spongin fibers is somewhat related to the skeletal system of porifera, and we have two different things: spicules and spongin fibers. Spicules is somewhat it is made up of a calcium carbonate, right? And spongin fibers, they are a protein, right? This is related to the skeletal system of porifera. And the trophocytes, we didn't read any of the term like this. Trophocytes. Okay, we have studied the porocytes and we have studied the myocytes, and we should know that myocytes is the one acting as the sphincter around the osculum. Okay, so the correct answer will be the myocytes. See, what will be the functions of this canal system? You should know respiration, reproduction, excretion, and all other physiological functions. Everything will be done only by the canal system in porifera, right? And we have a different types of parts of canal system: paragastric cavity, radial canal, incurrent canal, prosopile, excurrent canal, apophyte. Okay, and you should focus. What are all the things you have to focus? Means this paragastric cavity or gastric cavity or spongocyte. Everything will denote the same. And what it is lined by? It is lined by pinacocytes. Pinacocytes will be the outer layer or inner layer. See, we should know that the entire body of the sponges, it is a diploblastic organism. Diploblastic means what? It is made up of a two different layers, that is ectoderm and endoderm. And ectoderm, it is made up of a outer layer will be the called ectoderm, and this outer layer will be made up of outer layer was technically called as the pinacoderm. And this pinacoderm, it is made up of cells, obviously, and these cells are said as the pinacocytes, right? And this is not a layer, this is what a cell which is make up the outer layer. And the radial canal, it is lined by the choanocytes. You should know that choanocytes will be having the flagella within it, and this flagella is responsible for getting the food from outside to the body of sponges. And see, it is called as the collar cells. And the outer radial canal will be blind and inner end will be open to the spongocyte. See, this is what a picture I have attached here. And see, incurrent canal, it is also lined by the pinacocytes, and this radial canal and incurrent canal are arranged alternatively, and this radial and incurrent canal are communicate with each other through the pores, which is called as the prosophiles. Right? Prosophiles, they are nothing but they are made up of a minute pores. And excurrent canal. Excurrent canal is the one going to communicate with the spongocyte. And between the excurrent canal, before it enter into the spongocyte, the intermediate structure is present here as apophyte. See, just listen. This incurrent canal and excurrent radial canal and the incurrent canal are communicate with each other through the pores called the prosophiles. Like in the same way, this excurrent canal and the spongocyte communicate with each other through the pores called the apophytes, right? And just look at the picture also. And what are all there are different types of canal system will be there: ascon type, cycon type, and leucon type. Which will be the most simplest type of canal system? Ascon type will be the simplest type, and leucon type will be the most complex type. Cycon type will be the complex type of the canal system. This will be the intermediate structure, right? Now, next question: which of the following best describes the polymorphism in Coelenterata? the ability to change shape rapidly for camouflage, the occurrence of multiple forms or mods within a single species, a form of reproductive strategy involving both sexual and asexual reproduction, the development of specialized structure for prey culture. And what will be the answer? Polymorphism means many forms. Many forms or multiple forms will be present in the same species. Okay, and this polymorphism will be a specialized characteristic which is not seen only in the Coelenterata, but this polymorphism can be very effectively seen in Coelenterata. There is a difference between these two statements, right? Polymorphism will also exhibited by Trypanosoma gambians. Again, it will be the protozoan, but polymorphism will be very effectively seen in the Coelenterata, right? So the answer will be the option B. And what will be this third statement? And what will be the name of this statement? What it is denoting? A form of reproductive strategy involving both sexual and asexual reproduction. Anyone remember what will be the technical term for this definition? Quick. Metagenesis. Okay, don't forget that. See, we have a two, very good. We have a two different types of polymorphism in Coelenterata, that is polyp and medusa, right? Metamorphosis, it is a life stages. Okay, you should know what is metamorphosis, what is metagenesis, what is metamerism. Okay, all these are look similar, but each one gives a different state definition, right? Metagenesis means the alternative of a sexual and asexual reproduction. Okay, these two types of reproduction will be alternatively seen in one particular type of organism. Metamerism means segments. Okay, clear? Metamorphosis means it was life stages, that is egg will be hatched out into larva, larva will be developed into pupa, pupa will be developed into an adult. This life stages will be calling as the metamorphosis. Okay, coming back to the polymorphism, we have two different forms of polymorphism. There's polyp and medusa. See, this polyp will be sessile. It is not going to move. It is sedentary in nature. It is going to attach with any of the substratum, okay, and throughout its life cycle. Okay, it is going to perform an asexual reproduction, and it is also concerned with the function, feeding, and production. In medusa, it will be motile. Okay, as it is motile, it can perform a sexual reproduction. See, these are the same individual. In the same individual, they are exhibiting in different forms, right? Polyp and medusa, we have two different forms of a polymorphism, and this polyp will be undergo a different modification, and medusa will undergo a different modification. Polyp, we know that it is sessile or sedentary. It is going to perform a feeding function, protective function, and asexual reproduction function. Of course, it is going to perform the asexual reproduction. Medusa is going to perform a sexual reproduction. This medusa will be coming out from the polyp by the means of asexual reproduction. See, look at me the statement properly. Polyp undergoing an asexual reproduction mechanism. In the asexual reproduction mechanism, they are going to form the medusa, and only then this medusa going to perform a sexual reproduction. Of course, this medusa is going to perform the sexual reproduction. It is coming out from the asexual reproduction done by the polyp, right? And what are all the modifications done by the polyp? Means gastrozooid. It is dealing with the feeding function. For feeding, it needs some of the structures like mouth and tentacle. In dactylozooid, this is somewhat related to the protection function. For protection, it needs no mouth. It needs only tentacle. All right. And gonocyte, we know that gonads, it is somewhat related to the reproductive polyp, reproductive function. It is going to produce a sexual medusa by means of asexual reproduction mechanism. And medusa, these are all the modifications. Nectophore, it is somewhat involved in the movement, okay, swimming. And nematophore, for this swimming, it needs a structure called a muscular bill. This structure helps the medusa to move from one place to another. And nematophore or float, it is somewhat makes the organism to float in water. Okay, and phyllozoid, or we can say bract. Bract means it has a leaf-like structure. And what is the specialized structure seen in this phyllozoid means a nematocyst. This nematocyst will be present only in this phylum Coelenterata, right? And gonophore, again, this gonads, it is somewhat related to the reproduction function, and obviously this medusa is the one going to perform the sexual reproduction, right? And the next question, the disease in man caused by the infection of bladder worm is known as? Very good. This is a cysticercosis. And anybody remember this bladder worm or cysticercus will be seen in which parasite's life cycle? Can anybody name that which helminth worm undergoes this structure? Cysticercus. Exactly. See here. See, liver fluke and ascaris. These are all the two important parasites, and you have to remember the taxonomical classification, right? And it is a digenetic in nature, and which is primary host and secondary host, which means it needs two hosts to complete their life cycle. Primary here host will be the sheep, and secondary host will be the snake. Only it when it reaches the sheep, it can complete the life cycle. That is why it is called as the primary host. And larval stages, the most important thing, larval stages. Miracidium is a larval stage. Whenever the egg has been hatch out, it has been converted into the Miracidium larva, and this Miracidium larva will be the egg will be hatch out this stage of larva only in the water. Okay, and temperature and light will be the major deciding factor whether the egg has been developed into the Miracidium larva or not. They are the deciding factor. And after that, this Miracidium larva, it has a cilia all over the body, and it reaches the sporosis, which is present in the secondary host, right? And after that, the sporosis will be converted into the Redia larva, and after that, Cercaria larva and Metacercaria. See, the chronological order will be very important. And the disease caused by this liver fluke will be the liver rot or fasciolosis. See, fasciola hepatica, it is going to cause this disease. And also you should know that whether this is coming under the platyhelminthes or aschelminthes. And platyhelminthes or aschelminthes, which helminth is considered, which phylum is considered as flatworms? Which phylum is considered as flatworms? Platyhelminthes is considered as a flatworms. Aschelminthes or nemathelminthes is called as the roundworms. And these are the systematic positions. And there are two different species present in the genus Ascaris. Exactly, nemat and roundworms. And what this Annelida is called as? Platyhelminthes is flatworms. Nemathelminthes will be the roundworms. And Annelida will be called as the segmented worms. Okay. Right, next, these are all the two different species of Ascaris. Ascaris lumbricoides, Ascaris suum, right? And it is monogenetic. Okay, um, it doesn't need any of the secondary host or the intermediate host. Okay, metamerism, yes, exactly. Metamerism is a concept which has been started to arise only from the phylum Annelids. Okay, now larval stages will be the rhabditoid stage, and the disease caused by this helminth will be the ascaris. And torsion is the characteristic features of. And before that, you should know that torsion and detorsion will be happened in which of the phylum? We have many phylums, and this mechanism will be happened in which phylum? Exactly, you're right. This is coming under the gastropoda, and which phylum? Mollusca. Exactly. And whether in larval stages or adult stage? Larval or adult stage? Which stage is undergoing this mechanism? Very good. Larval stage. right? See, we know that torsion or twisting, it is going to turn the digestive tract in the anti-clockwise direction, that to 180 degrees Celsius. Okay, what is going to change? They are going to change the mantle cavity along with the pallial complex. Okay, and what are all the positions will be present in the posterior position? After torsion, all these important structures will be turned into the anterior position, right? And um, and head and foot region will be fixed before torsion and after torsion. The head and foot region will not going to change, only the anus and this digestive tract and the visceral complex, mantle cavity, these are all the things going to change from the posterior position to the anterior position in the anti-clockwise direction, that too in the 180 degree, right? Now, this is what a torsion and detorsion. And thus, does this torsion and detorsion, whether it is reversible or irreversible? Whether it is reversible or irreversible? This process is reversible, right? Because the this torsion and detorsion, this is the change of organs from the posterior position to the anterior position. This structural adaptation is favorable only for the larval stage, right? When it reaches the adult stage, the adult will not find any advantage in this disposition. So the torsion will be reversible, so that we can call them as a detorsion, right? Now, this question, the species will have diverged after origin from the common ancestor, giving rise to a new species adopted to the new habitats and way of life is called. They have a common ancestor, but they have been diverged. Okay, from the common ancestor, they have adopted a different structure, different structural adaptations, and that is called as the adaptive radiation. Right, and this adaptive radiation very well seen in the mammals. We know that, see, initially it have only a common ancestor, and after that it is a land walking mammal. Okay, from this walking mammal, it is a primitive ancestor. From this, it has been adopted a structure called adapted structure to climb, adapted structure to fly, adapted structure to glide, to leap, and all these structural adaptations will have been adopted from a common ancestor. This is what an adaptive radiation. And you should know that what are all the adaptations. It has a fossorial or burrowing. It has an arboreal, running, swimming, leaping. So these are all the structural adaptation. You should read with examples. Okay. The next, the bird's flight adaptation is because of. Don't take much time for these questions. It is very easy to answer. The bird's flight adaptation is because of. Exactly. Hollow bones. Okay. What is meant by hollow bones? The bone is not filled with bone marrow. Instead of that, it is filled with an empty space. Okay. See, there has no bone marrow within the bones, which is present in exactly pneumatic bones. Very good. Only then the birds can fly. It can easy to lift their own weight and fly. If the bone is filled with the bone marrow, it is too heavy to lift its weight. Okay, so it is made up of a hollow bone. See, what are all the other important structures adapted by the birds to flight? Streamlined body shape. Okay, S-shaped body will be seen in case of birds, so that it is very easy for the birds to fly, and hollow bones, just because to reduce their body mass. Of course, their large wingspan and powerful flight muscle. Always the breast muscle is responsible for this powerful flight muscle. Powerful flight muscle will be present only in their breast muscle, right? And waterproof outer covering. If the feather is not waterproof, it can't lift the feathers. It is just very heavy. Okay, and for that it is waterproof. These are all the adaptations adopted by the birds to flight, right? These are all the 5 important structures. And choose the incorrect statement with reference to the poison apparatus of snakes. This is your previous year question paper coming in the came in last year question paper, I think. DL exam. Snake poison contains of certain enzymes. During the bite, poison glands burst and poison is released. Each gland is covered by muscle. Poison glands are modified parotid glands. Okay. What about others? Okay. And your answer will be C. See, poison glands are a modified parotid glands or supralabial glands. Okay. They are a modified supralabial or the parotid glands. Okay. Yeah. You should read the incorrect statement. This is the correct statement. No need to say sorry. Just you have to keep in mind what are all the mistakes you have did. Whenever solving questions is used to realize yourself, okay, in which place we are making mistakes. For that you have to correct, okay, and that mistakes can be helpful to avoid those mistakes in the examinations, right? Poison apparatus, generally four different parts which are comprisingly called as the poison apparatus, right? The pair of poison glands, their ducts, fangs and muscles. Fangs are the modified incisors we have studied, right? Fangs are said to be as the teeth. Here it will be denoting as the dentation. Okay, it is a teeth, a modified teeth. Okay, it is attached to the maxillary bones, and obviously this is surrounded by the muscles, ducts, through which the poison can flow through these ducts. A pair of poison glands, you should know what will be the exact location where this poison glands have been located. It is situated on either inner side of the upper jaw below the eyes, which as we said studied, it is a modified supralabial or parotid glands, right? And this class about a class amphibia is correct. Fertilization is internal. Respiration is through gills only. Body is divisible into head and trunk. Head is, heart is two-chambered, one ventricle and one auricle. Which of the following statements are correct? And you have to choose the correct pairs. You can easily eliminate the option. Okay. See, just tell me whether the respiration is happen only by gills, and whether it is a two-chambered. By this, you can easily eliminate the options. The answer will be option B. Okay, this is not right. Okay, just remember the frog. It can also respire using lungs. So the statement is wrong. So we can eliminate these two things. And it is not a two-chambered heart. Which class will be two-chambered heart? Fishes will be the two-chambered, right? And you should know that reptiles, apes, and these are all how many chambered. This you have to apply to all the class placed under the phylum chordate. This is how you have to read, right? And these are all the general characteristics and classification. Yeah, here it will be three-chambered. In case of three-chambered, it has two auricle and one ventricle. Okay, make sure you know all these things. Whether the fertilization is external or internal, okay, everything will be very necessary. Okay, see, we have studied three-chambered, we have studied two auricles and one ventricle. In case of humans, see, we have studied in RBC or erythrocytes, there is no nucleus, non-nucleated or enucleated in case of humans. But here, it will be nucleated. Okay, and the kidney, mesonephric or excretion uricotelic. From this question, you have to read all the general characters and classification of all the phylums, right from Porifera to the chordata, up to the mammals subclass, right? So general characters, including the classification with examples, right? All these things are mandatory to read, right? Now, salamanders, unlike other, can reproduce in their larval stages and show neoteny and pedogenesis. Which of the following is an example of neoteny? Before that, you should know what is neoteny and what is pedogenesis. And this neoteny and pedogenesis will be seen which class. Okay. And after that only you have to read their examples. Okay. You're right. Axolotl larva of ambystoma will be the answer. What is neoteny and what is pedogenesis? See, both are the terms coined by this Colvin. Everybody thinking that this neoteny and pedogenesis will be same. Very good. In case of neoteny, what are all the characters or some characters which is present in the larval stages? Exactly the same characteristics will be persisted to persist in the adult body also. See, we have seen some, for example, the gills. In the salamander, we have a larval stage and we have an adult stage. In case of larval salamander, gills is present. So these gills also present, retained to retained to present in the adult stage also. So what are all the structures or some structure will be present in the larval stage will continue to exist in the adult stage also. So this retention of larval character to the adult body, it is called as neoteny. In case of pedogenesis or pedomorphogenesis, they are referring to the sexual maturity. Very good. Sexual maturity. See, generally, this sexual maturity, we can say that precocious development. This sexual maturity will be happen only in the adult stage. Okay. But before the time comes, the larval stages gains the capacity to develop their gonads, which means what? Precocious development of gonads in the larval body. See, just listen to me carefully. Generally, the sexual maturity will be happen only the larval stages is converted into the adult stage. And this is what a general phenomena. But in this pedogenesis, the precocious development, before it has been converted into an adult stage, the larva gains the sexual maturity, which means what? A gonad development will be happen in the larval stages itself. That is called a precocious development of gonads. This is what a pedogenesis. See, neoteny means a retention of larval characters to the adult. Pedogenesis means it stresses the precocious development of gonads in the larval body. Right? This is what a difference between this neoteny and pedogenesis. And this neoteny and pedogenesis will be happen in which class? Whether it is in fishes or amphibians or apes or reptiles or mammals. Very good. Amphibians. Okay. We'll stop up to this. We'll continue tomorrow. Okay. See, tomorrow, before attend to the class, what is your homework is you have to study the general characteristics and classification. Okay. I have sent you the one overview, right? And that chart will have all the phylums and you have the comparison of all the phylums. I hope you all remember that the chart. And you have to read the chart and come before enter into the class. You have to come to that. And we have studied 15 different concepts today. And these concepts you have to revise it before you enter into the tomorrow's class. And tomorrow's time will be the 8:30 to 9:30. Please be on time. Okay, it is very mandatory. Hope the session might helpful to you. And if you have any doubts, you can ask me now. This is how the entire MCQ series will move. Okay, it has approximately 80 days, I think, right? We will finish almost majority of the concepts, right? And if you, okay, shall we wind up the class? No doubts, right? Okay, thank you.